Hey guys, WALLAH here. Today's video, I want to go over some things, talk about what I think that was really good in this update, and also talk about some things that were not so very good in this update, and they're very questionable coming from Bungie. A lot of their decisions, of course, are always questionable, but some of the things they did this season was actually pretty damn good, and I was surprised they even did some of these things because they never really mentioned it, but I do remember complaining about some of these things, and finally we get an answer for, not really an answer, we got an answer without any warning, but nonetheless, we still got it fixed, so I'm pretty happy. If you're watching this right now, just leave a like on the video. I'm providing such cracked content for free, so you might as well. First thing Bungie nerfed that was very, very surprising, but very good, is the fact that every time someone gets frozen now, there is a primary damage reduction when it comes to getting shot while frozen. So let's say I freeze someone with any ability now. Instead of shooting them once or twice to the head to get them to explode and get that full kill, I'm gonna have to shoot them 3 to 5 times now, depending on what type of gun. And even if you're using something like an auto rifle, you're gonna have to shoot them at least like 10 times, maybe a little more. With a 120, you have to shoot around I want to say 2 to 5 times, depending. I could be wrong. It all just depends how weak you get them. If they're already pretty weak and you shoot them once, they're going to die, obviously. But if they're full health when you freeze them, you're going to have to shoot them a decent amount now. It's not just 1 or 2 shots. You're looking around like 3 or 5 shots. But with this awesome change, of course, Bungie managed to fuck up somehow. So now every time someone's frozen, you do a lot more special ammo damage. So now every time someone's frozen, you do a lot more special weapon damage. What I mean by that is the exact same thing as the primary change. So when someone's frozen, instead of doing the normal amount of damage you would do with a shotgun, you actually get increased damage using a special weapon. I don't know why they would implement such a thing, but they did. And now let's say you freeze a super. I'm guessing this works for supers as well. I could be wrong. Any source of special weapon damage while they were frozen will be doing more damage now, which is quite honestly kind of crazy, and it seemed stupid to add and very pointless. There was no reason for it. I don't agree with Bungie's decision in this thing, but I don't think it's the end of the world. If you ever get frozen and someone's sniping you with a special or like using a shotgun while you're frozen, you're probably going to die anyways. So I'll let it slide. It's not the end of the world, but it still doesn't make sense. So far, nothing really crazy. I know it doesn't sound like the end of the world, but I'm getting into the bad stuff now. There wasn't too many things that Bungie implemented that was cool. They fixed survival. They made it 4 lives instead of 6 lives, which is really awesome. But there's still this survival glitch. So every time, let's say the other team has 1 life left and you get a double kill, they both die at the exact same time. Both people will actually respawn in instead of only one person because it's just glitched. The game mode is glitched. The game is just so slow. So when it registers that they only have 1 life, it'll still spawn both of them in if you end up killing the enemies at the exact same time. But I just wanted to talk about that real quick. The number one most confusing thing to me of all is Bungie ended up buffing Stasis Hunter. Yes, you heard it right. Bungie ended up buffing Stasis Hunter, and not the way you would have imagined. I mean, to be quite frank with you, no one really would have imagined Bungie buffing Stasis Hunter because it's just so strong already. No one would have seen a buff to Stasis in general coming, but here we are. Bungie thinking Stasis just needs a little fine-tuning and helping it improve because obviously Stasis isn't good enough right now. That's a joke, by the way. So they ended up giving shurikens 90 damage base. What that means is if you hit someone with a shuriken to the body, it will do 90 damage guaranteed. If you guys know and you play Hunter, shurikens used to do 91 damage to the head. But now, I'm guessing the headshot / body shot doesn't matter. So as long as you just hit them with a shuriken, you're going to do 90 damage regardless of where it hits them. If you know shurikens, they are freaking broken. You can slow someone up to 4 seconds just by slowing them with a shuriken. And these things track like crazy and bounce off walls. It's just ridiculous. So now you can finish enemies off quite freaking easily with a 90 damage shuriken. It's just, you don't even have to try anymore. Not that you really had to try before anyways, but this buff was ridiculous and it was not needed whatsoever. A lot of people got frustrated, including myself. I play Hunter. I know how ridiculous this is. That was one buff that did not make sense to me. Another buff was a buff to the dustfield grenade. Everyone knows dustfield grenades suck you from a very... Everyone knows dustfield grenades suck you from a very long distance. Trust me, I know where I'm going with this. But dustfield grenades already have very, very crazy range. And on top of that, they freeze people pretty quick. If you play on Hunter, you could shade step next to someone and throw a dustfield grenade. Boom, they freeze instantly. Or you can throw a shuriken and throw your dustfield grenade. Boom, instant freeze again. These things are no joke, and they can really control a lot of the area on the map. Hence why they're very popular and why you've been seeing them recently. I'm not sure 1,000,000% what they got buffed on, besides the fact that your dustfield grenade could actually kill people now. If that's the only buff it received, I guess it's not crazy, but the fact that, again, stasis is getting buffed, just why? I don't understand why. It's so good already. It was so strong. And now we have shurikens doing 90 damage and dustfield grenades killing people? Was it needed? Was it necessary? No, it wasn't necessary whatsoever. But here we are, and they're still changing it for some reason. They need to nerf it, not buff it. That's not even the worst thing, boys. It's not the worst thing, and I wish it was the worst thing because it's still so bad, but there's still more. And I know you're probably thinking, more? What do you mean more? There's a mod on the artifact now that grants you super energy after getting stasis super kills. Now you're probably thinking, oh, that doesn't sound so good. Have you guys heard of Behemoth Titan? No? Yeah, you probably have. Everyone watching this video has heard of Behemoth Titan. And you know how freaking fun it is playing against it, right? Trying to run away from. You can't run away from a Stasis Titan. Trying to run away from a Stasis Titan and dying to it. And then dying to it again. And then dying to it 3 times in one life, in one spawn somehow. The same exact super. You die to the same super 3 times in a row because it just lasts that long. It's a joke. I mean, you can die to the same super easily 2 times if you're playing something like Clash because the super does last that long. But now we have an artifact mod that gives you super energy after getting stasis kills. It's ridiculous. This is it's ridiculous. It doesn't make sense whatsoever. I'm not entirely sure if this grants you bonus super energy like after the fact of when your super's done or like during the super itself. But regardless of which one it is, it's still like really bad for PvP. Like imagine a stasis titan getting 3 kills with his stasis super and then having like half of his super the next freaking round again because he got kills, you know? Regardless of which way it works, whether every time you get a kill it lasts longer or every time you get a kill you get extra energy for the next time you get super. I'm not entirely sure how it works, but I know it works one of those ways. It's going to be very, very strong. It's just not good for the game whatsoever. PvP wise, again. Another thing Bungie introduced this season was a different keybind to unfreeze yourself. So when you get frozen, it was normally whatever your class ability. So let's say, you know, if I was dodging with my F key, I would press F to unfreeze. But now Bungie implemented a new keybind to unfreeze. It's not a big deal or anything by any means, but it kind of seemed very pointless. Now I have to learn how to press a new key to unfreeze. I sound like such a big baby. But there was virtually no difference whatsoever, and I don't understand why they did it. Again, it's not a huge deal, but I was hoping that maybe Bungie would have listened and let us unfreeze in the air, because right now with stasis, you cannot unfreeze while you're in the air, which is very, very annoying and just makes your chances of surviving after being frozen so low, and it's so frustrating. Especially when you're trying to run away from something like, let's say, a hunter super. You jump away from it and you get frozen because you're in the air. Obviously, you're trying to get away from it. So that's extra time added while being frozen on top of the 4.25 seconds that's already guaranteed once you get frozen. Now it's really, really strong. But it's not a huge deal or anything. The new keybind was just really annoying, if anything. It's unfortunate that the loot this time around is pretty good, but when it comes to the meta and the state of the game, it's very, very frustrating and very bad. It's very annoying to play against stasis, to get outplayed because someone decided to shade step next to me and slow me for 4 seconds, to get outplayed because someone decided to throw a wall grenade on the floor, to get outplayed because someone decided to suck me across the map with a dustfield grenade, to get outplayed because someone pressed Q. No outplay potential whatsoever. It's very, very frustrating, and a lot of people aren't liking it whatsoever. I was surprised to see some people on Twitter that I have never seen really complain about PvP too much. See them complaining now. And these guys are popular people too. I can't really name everything Bungie has done. I feel like this has been going on for long enough. I've been talking for like 9 minutes now, and I know I probably missed a few things that people are very upset about. So if there's something Bungie did that really triggered you or confused you so much, let me know in the comments down below. Thank you guys for watching, and if you guys thought I was wrong on a few things, let me know, even though I'll probably disagree, but I'm always down to have a conversation in the chat. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Later.